last part is the primary and secondary deviance. What is primary deviance and secondary deviance? Primary deviance refers to the violations of norm or rule that does not result in the violators being stigmatized as deviant, and secondary deviance refers to the deviant behavior that is a result being publicly labeled as a deviant and treated as an outsider. It introduced by Edwin Leonard in 1951. Primary deviance explained that it is engaging the initial act of deviance. Also in secondary deviance is the process of deviant identity integrating into conceptions of self-potentiality affecting the individual long-term. The fourth theories of crime causation is the economic theories of crime causation. Is a standard model of decision-making where individuals choose between criminal activity and legal activity on the basis of expected utility from those acts. The foray by environments into the area is relatively recent, dating back into Gary Beaker's path-breaking contribution in 1968. As a part of a longer model designed to explore optimal criminal justice policy, he developed the supply offense function, which indicate the factors affecting the number of crime a rational individual commits. There are types of economic theories of crime causation, and these are the The first is the economic model of criminal behavior or basis theory. The economic theory of criminal behavior is an application to the neoclassical theory of demand. It formalized by Nobel laureate Gary Beaker in 1968. It states that potential criminals economically national and respond significantly to the deterring incentives by the criminal justice systems. The second is the Karl Marx theory. Marxism is the social, political, and economic name after Karl Marx. It examines the effect of capitalism on labor, productivity, and economic development, and it argues for a worker revolution to overturn capitalism in favor of communism. Marxism posits that the struggle between social classes is physically between the bourgeois or the capitalist and the proletariat of workers define economic relation in capitalist economy and will inevitably lead to revolutionary communism. This next is the Friedrich Engels and William Bunger's theory. Engels and Marx wrote and published many articles and books together that attempted to expose the uneven distribution of wealth gained during the Industrial Revolution. Their writings see capitalism as an exploitative system that benefits the owners of land capital and means of protection more than the workforce. Bunger's theory of economic criminality stated that there is a causal link between crime and prevailing economic and social condition. He asserted that crime is social in origin and a normal response to prevailing cultural condition. The fifth theory is the biopsychosocial theories of crime causation. What is biopsychosocial theories of crime causation? Biopsychosocial criminology and psychology is a multidisciplinary perspective to attempt to understand criminal behavior and related to the outcome like an antisocial behavior and its consequences by considering the interaction between biological, genetics, hormone, physiological, brain structure functioning, physiological and sociological factors. The biopsychosocial model was first proposed by George L. England and John Nomano of the University of Rutgers in 1997. There are types of biopsychosocial theories of crime causation, and the first is biopsychosocial model of crime causation. The BPS model isn't just used by psychiatrists, it has many applications in different fields because of how inclusive it is of different factors that influence human behavior. The biopsychosocial model was first proposed by George L. Engel and John Romano. The next is the moral insanity and criminal responsibility. Moral insanity referred to a type of mental disorder consisting of abnormal emotions and behavior in the apparent absence of intellectual impairments, delusions, and hallucination. Criminal responsibility, also known as the insanity defense, refers to the time of alleged offense and more specifically asks the questions whether the defendant had the mental capacity to distinguish between right and wrong at the time of the alleged offense and could control her conduct accordingly. Next is the premenstrual syndrome. Premenstrual syndrome, or they say PMS, is a condition that affects a woman's emotions, physical health, and behavior during certain days of menstrual cycle, generally just before her menses. It presented at New York Academy of Medicine by Rohart T. Frank titled Hormonal Cause of Premenstrual Tension. The next is battered child syndrome. A battered child syndrome is defined as the collection of injuries sustained by a child as a result of repeated mistreatment or beating. If a child injuries indicate intentional trauma or appear to be more severe than could reasonably be expected to result from accident, battered child syndrome in 1962, Dr. C. Henry Kempe and his colleague was the first to recognize and identify child abuse and neglect in defining paper that they call the battered child syndrome. The next is the battered woman syndrome. It's a psychological conditions that can develop when person experience abuse, usually at the hands of an intimate partner. These include fear and belief that they are the cause of abuse. The next is the psychotherapist Leonard Walker developed the concept of battered woman syndrome in the late 1970s. She wanted to describe the unique patterns of behavior and emotion that can develop when a person experiences abuse as they try to find ways to survive the situation. And the last is the postpartum stress syndrome and postpartum psychosis. Postpartum stress syndrome can create feelings of anxiety that are unsettling. These feelings do not impede her ability to function, get through the day. Clayman says instead a woman's stress is manageable but constant. Postpartum psychosis is a serious mental health illness that can affect someone soon after having baby. It affects in 500 mothers after giving birth will experience mild mood changes after having a baby, known as baby blues. Postpartum psychosis syndrome, or the symptoms is confusion and disorientation, obsessive thoughts about her baby, hallucination, and delusions. Karen Clayman, LSW, Director of Postpartum Stress Center and author of The Art of Holding the Therapy. The last theory is the political social conflict theories of crime causation. What is political social conflict theories of crime causation? Is an alternative conception of political theories of crime causation is that they are characterized by their emphasis on social conflict and power relationship. Insofar as criminal justice system is seen as instrument of political control of repression, to the politicization of all crime is implied. Karl Marx is the father of social conflict theory. In conflict theory, deviant behavior are actions that do not comply with social institution. The institution's ability to change norms, wealth, or status come into conflict with the individual. Marx says there are types of political social conflict theories of crime causation, and the first is Marxist criminology. Marxist criminology is one of the school of criminology. It parallels the work of the structural functionalism school, which focuses on what produces stability and continuity in society, but unlike the functionalist, it adopts a predefined political philosophy. Karl Marx was pioneered the Marxist criminology. The second is the conflict theory. Conflict theory focuses on the competition between groups within society over limited resources. Conflict theory views social and economic institutions as tools of the struggle between group or classes used to maintain inequality and the dominance of ruling class. The next is the social reality of crime. What is social reality of crime? Under the theory of the social reality of crime, crime is held to be a legal definition of human conduct created by agents of the dominant class to secure its hegemony. Richard Quinney, the social reality of crime remains an eloquent and important statement on the crime law and justice. The next is left realism. Left realism is just one political ideology that focuses on the causes of crime and deviance. Left realists believe that living in a capitalistic society where private entities control trade and industry instead of the state is the main cause of crime. The next is the postmodern theory. The postmodern theory, constitutive criminology theory, suggests to search for the causes of crime. One should look at the complexity of the interactions of individuals within their culture, community, and social structure. Some famous thinkers associated with postmodernism are Jean Baudrillard, Gilles Deleuze, Jacques Derrida, and Michael Foucault. The next is institutive constitutive theory. What is institutive constitutive theory? It states that recognition of an entity as a state is not automatic. A state is only state when it recognized as such, and other states have considerable discretion to recognize it or not. Moreover, only upon recognition by those other states does not new its state exist, at least in legal sense. It is founded by Dragan Milanovic and Bruce Arrigo. Constitutive theory was based on the postmodernist concept of social theory applied to crime and criminal justice, and formed as a new subfield or critical criminology. The next is conservatism and liberalism. First, let's tackle the conservatism. Conservatism is an aesthetic, cultural, social, and political philosophy which seeks to promote and preserve traditional social institutions such as organized religion, parliamentary government, and property of rights. Liberalism is a political and moral philosophy based on liberty, consent of the governed, and equality before the law. Conservatism is associated with Edmund Burke, and in liberalism is philosopher John Locke. The next is the radicalism. Radicalism in political science. The term radicalism is the belief that society needs to be changed and that these changes are the only possible through revolutionary means. Most people think of left-wing politics when they use noun radicalism, although people on both ends of the spectrum can describe as radical. According to Encyclopedia Britannica, the first use of term radical in political sense is generally ascribed to English parliamentarian Charles James Fox. The next is the identity fusion theory. What is identity fusion theory? It posits that strongly fused individuals like bonds with whom they may have and little or no consent. Several studies have governed empirical support for the relation ties principles. In 1979, British psychologists Henry Tafel and John Turner introduced the social identity theory, where our social identity within a group shapes our norm, attitudes, and behavior. Thank you. And this topic was and this will be the last topic.